This episode is brought to you by Oops. Before you are ever in an accident, Oops is the app you want on your phone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. And I have no voice today. Sorry, guys.
Yes, she doesn't.
Where was
And we are
Big
your
Bang
hosts.
Theory fan podcast. We are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, married couple Cat,
Dan Paul.
who likes to try and see if he can get me off track and forget
I
what I
am
was
not
talking about.
doing a thing.
Uh-huh.
You said you got no voice today, guys, and I
I
said
I
no, she
don't have
doesn't.
any voice today.
And then you suddenly just went,
Yeah, because you had Barney doing the cheering during my fan podcast.
well, I mean, Barney's sitting here doing nothing, so
Uh-huh.
it's not my fault.
Anyway, we're here for season 3, episode 19, The Wheaton Recurrence.
Yes, the now before we get started on this episode, I just wanted
Yeah.
to give a shout out to one of our listeners.
Oh, okay.
Now, we had actually said that we were thinking I was going to be monitoring
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
over the next, say, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe
Uh-huh.
at the end of the month, to see how we're going because our numbers are decreasing every day, like
Yeah.
they're going down.
Sad.
And one of our listeners, Elias, actually came up with it. That the fact is that the the podcast is us, as he points out. And so what he suggested is that we've got the banner on our podcast, but we don't have individual little individual little tiles. We've got the same tile throughout every episode,
Yeah.
other than maybe the oops one or the mailbag or whatever, but it's the same tile. And he said that that's something that you should do. You should actually do something like your own individual tile. So what he came up with, which I
So
thought
we
was
should do different ones for each episode.
yeah. Now he came up with an amazing one, and I actually said to him he was really nervous about, oh my God, did I overstep the boundary? No, no, no. This
No.
was awesome. He actually froze obviously he was watching it on YouTube, froze a segment of it, and took screenshots of both Kat and myself. Then asked Chat GPT to do like a mashup of everything, including the logo and everything, and put it in there. And he came up with some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So much so that Kat and I have decided that we're going to take that on board. And every episode now, we are going to try and do a same sort of mashup that he did for every episode on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
So, if
So
you come
watch
up with
this
a
space.
Yes, if you come up with a great idea like Elias did, please reach out to us and say, hey, have you ever thought of doing this? And if we like it, we'll take it on board. And if not, we'll still say thank you for the effort of thinking about us. But that was just amazing. It was like, oh my God, I don't. And the funny thing is, Kat has got a YouTube channel, and even she says, oh, well, I do my own personal little, tile on each episode. Why didn't I think about doing that for PMS? I didn't even think about that either. I just put it up there as just the regular everyday
Yeah.
everyday tile, the same one that we use on our header through and through. So it was amazing. So really, thank you very much, Elias, for reaching out and doing that, and for taking that, and running with that idea. We're going to definitely take that on board.
Yeah, we
So
love it.
yeah, we absolutely love it. So that's something that we're going to do every episode. We're going to try and do something that he did. So maybe the first one you'll see, Elias, will be yours that you did for the recap of episode 19, and then we're going to try and change it up and do something as we go along. But it was amazing. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. Very
Yep.
much appreciated.
Absolutely.
So now this episode, season 3, episode number 19, The Wheaton Recurrence. What did you think about this episode?
It had its moments. It wasn't without its charm.
It was very fast.
It was very fast, but I remember reading somewhere that Wil Wheaton signed on because he could play a caricature of himself
Yep.
and be a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And he really is a jerk in these early episodes where he appears.
Yeah, he is.
But I was actually saying to Paul that I'm glad that later on, spoiler alert, they make he becomes more himself and he's actually a decent guy
Yeah,
and
yeah, he
becomes
really,
friends with the gang.
yeah, it's a really great way that they actually did that to integrate him into the cast, where he's not a regular, but he's a regular repeating occurrence
Yeah,
every now and
but in
again.
these
So
first episodes, he was such a dick.
he was. But the one thing that I find really interesting about this episode is that I like I like Leonard,
Yeah.
but his passive aggressiveness really gets to me.
Oh, he just doesn't know how to let it go. He
Yeah.
doesn't listen to Penny and and honestly, at this point, I kind of don't blame her for walking away.
No, I can understand why Penny basically says that's enough. I've had
Yeah.
enough. She's trying to be the respectful person that she's trying to, and she actually even explains to him, and we'll get to the scene as to what we're talking about. So the episode opens up where we've got Penny and we've got Leonard in bed, and of course, Leonard's recovering from their very amorous activities, and Penny does something amazing. She says she actually quotes something. She actually quotes somebody. She says she says, "Do or do not. There is no try." And Leonard goes, "Oh, did you just quote Star Wars?" And she said, "I
No,
believe."
actually, I believe I quoted Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm in bed with a beautiful woman who can quote Yoda." So then he goes in and he, passionately kisses her. And then looks directly at her and says, and I quote,
I
"I
love
love you,
you,
Penny."
Penny.
And her eyes suddenly flutter as if there is a bee trying to land in it.
Yeah.
And she looks at him. Now, this is the dreaded thing that nobody on the planet wants to hear. She looks lovingly towards Leonard and she goes, "Oh, thank you." And he's like, "You're welcome." And he goes, "I just thought I'd put it out there." And she goes, "Oh, no, absolute, what? No, yeah, why wouldn't you?" And then she goes to this, she's becomes now very
And
awkward
now she's like
situation.
looking at her watch that isn't on her wrist,
And she's
and
like,
she's like, you know
no,
what? It's getting late. We should probably go to sleep.
yeah. And she goes, and he goes, "Okay." And she goes, "Here, good night, sweetie." Gives him a kiss, turns around, and her eyes bug out of her head, so
Hmm.
big. So, I mean, look, I'm sure at some stage people have had that situation happen where you've said, "I love you," and they've come back with "thank you."
I had that happen once.
Yeah, I had that happen once too.
You just said you couldn't relate to that question.
No, I could relate to that question when I was in about fourth grade,
Gee.
but I don't think that that I can't relate to it now. But in
No,
fourth grade, I could.
I had a boyfriend back in 2010. Just for the record, guys, I met Paul in 2012, but I had a boyfriend back in 2010 and we were on the phone together and I wasn't even thinking. And as we were hanging up, I'm like, all right, talk to you later. Love you. Bye. And then I hung up and I went, oh crap. And yeah, we broke up not long after that. He freaked out.
Yeah, see, when I met Kat, she took me to meet her friends that she was staying with, and when we were in Denny's, she was not only playing with my hair, which I thought was beautiful, but then she decided to pinch my cheeks.
No, that was on our first date, honey.
Was that on our first
Yeah.
date?
Yeah, we were on our first date and we were getting on so
Oh, that's
well
right.
and
Yes.
I pinched your cheeks and then
And then you were
afterward realized
mortified.
what I had done because I didn't even realize I was doing it.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I was like, ah! And fortunately Paul thought it was cute, not creepy.
Yes, exactly. And then we went to have breakfast, or I think it was breakfast with you with the.
And you told them about it and they thought I was stupid.
No, but it was cute. I thought it was cute. So, but yeah, I can't relate to that scenario of telling someone you love them now, but in fourth grade, I can. And I couldn't believe that. I told that girl that I loved her in recess. By lunchtime, we were broken up.
Okay. What'd she say when you said I love you?
Thank you.
Mm.
Hmm. Never forgave that woman.
They actually played that out in Gilmore Girls too. For Rory's birthday, Dean was building her a car,
Oh,
and
okay.
he took her to go see it. And they were sitting there, and he said, "I love you, Rory." And she just froze like a deer in the headlights and then said, "Thank you."
Well, I mean, it is a very big thing to
It
actually
is
have
a very
happen
big
when
thing.
someone says that.
And we'll get to this in a minute, but this is one of the things that really annoyed me about Leonard
Yeah.
is when Penny goes to talk to him and she says, "I've said it before and it didn't end well. And when I say it to you, I want it to mean something." He totally didn't hear any of that
No, because then he
because
says,
that
well,
should have
okay.
changed the trajectory of their
Yeah.
relationship and deepened their intimacy connection.
Yeah. But
Except that he didn't
unfortunately,
listen. He was too much overthinking in his head and being mad that she didn't say it back to him immediately.
yeah. So then he says, well, you've had time to think about it. What
Yeah,
about
but we're
now?
getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So the next scene we see is where the boys are at Caltech having lunch, and they're discussing the
No,
cool. Oh no,
they
they're
weren't.
sorry, they're not. They're actually in the apartment. Sorry,
Yeah.
and they're discussing the coolest mode of transportation, as far as well,
Yeah, they're watching
giant
some
ants.
movie, I assume, with giant
Where do you come
ants.
down on giant ants, Leonard? And we find that there is different modes of transportation, as Sheldon quotes. I don't know whether you've got the quote, but I know that it goes with the Batmobile, and then it comes with giant ants.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that
Really
quote
not
for you
sure how
real
that
quick.
goes, but apparently, as Sheldon says, the weights of the ant's exoskeleton would be
Exoskeleton, it
crushed,
wouldn't be able to, yeah,
support its own body weights would be crushed. And he goes, and for the record, and he goes through a list of things, including the Batmobile and then giant ants. Of course, this is where, Leonard just can't be bothered really discussing what's going on with
yeah.
them. The next scene we see is that the boys are
Nope, it's
now.
not there. I can't
Nope.
find it.
Okay.
Sorry.
The next scene we see is the
I
boys
hadn't found
are
it.
in the comic book store. And this is where Howard comes back with, what do we think about a giant sorry, a giant rabbit's possible? And this is where, and I love how you were saying that Raj quotes this because he quoted this when they were high on the
Yeah,
cookie.
okay. So in a previous episode, when the guys were out camping for the Leonid meteor shower
Yeah,
and they got the brownies from
the
the
two
middle-aged
old
women in the next campsite
with the
and
tie-dye
ended up getting
t-shirts.
completely stoned, and how Raj was saying how he would become the rabbit overlord.
Yes, and he would eat all the lettuce in the world, and he
Yep,
would make them sit there and watch
watch.
him do it.
And it's interesting because when they're in the comic book store, they start talking about giant rabbits, and Raj says whether they're small or large, he doesn't like rabbits.
Yeah, because they always look like they want to say something and they never do.
Yeah. And that's when Sheldon pipes in with their that giant rabbits are possible.
No,
It,
no, it's
um,
Ratza because Howard then says, Leonard, how do you come down on giant
Hold
rabbits?
on.
I'm sorry.
Geez, let me finish a thought for
Okay,
crying out loud.
all right.
This is where Sheldon pipes in saying that giant rabbits are potentially possible, but they're also one of the few mammals that have
Ah,
their scrotum in front of their penis.
that's right.
That's when,
Raj says maybe that's what they want to talk about.
yeah. And then Howard's like, well, where do you come in on this? Because usually when we start talking about animals with weird genitals, you have very strong opinions.
Yeah, and Leonard says, well,
He's
I
like,
just don't
I just don't give a
give a
rat's
rat's
ass.
ass.
And Sheldon's like, well, giant rats definitely
Are
possible,
impossible. Yeah,
are possible.
yeah,
Yeah. And, you know, and Leonard's like, why don't we talk about something that vaguely relates to life on this earth as we know it?
yes,
And that's when it starts getting into, oh, was there a spat with Penny? No
yeah,
spat. Oh, well, something happened.
yeah.
And and how Leonard's like, I don't want to talk about it. And Sheldon's like, but I have a sense that you're going to, and I don't want to hear it. So he
He
walks
walks
away.
away.
And of
Uh,
course, the boys just won't let
no,
let Leonard go.
yeah, because at one stage Howard goes, "Did you pour maple syrup over yourself and ask Penny for if she wanted a short stack?" And he's like, "No." And he goes, "Did you start waxing?" So did you ask her to start waxing? No. Did you start waxing? No.
And Raj is like, did you put on a pair of her panties and dance around thinking it would be fun and it ended up just creeping her out?
And he goes, no.
He's
And he
like,
goes,
just asking, it
it
happens.
happens. And this is where he goes, well, I'm walking away from you now.
No.
Oh no, that's right. He says one other thing.
And
What
then
was
Howard says, did you start spanking your
Becky?
own bottom and call out mommy?
That's right. And he goes, I'm walking away from you now. And
Yeah.
that's where Howard goes, well, that wasn't a no.
And Raj is like, yeah, I think we're getting close.
Yeah, we are. So this is where we see that Stuart comes over to
Sheldon.
Sheldon and says, are you guys still up for bowling tonight? And he goes, oh yes. He says, I've got some trash talk that I can talk with like when we're
I've been
bowling.
practicing some trash talk.
Yeah,
Like you bowl like your
like your
mama,
mum,
unless
unless
your
you're
mother's a really good bowler, in which case you bowl
bowl
nothing
nothing
like
like
her.
her. And look at her, Stuart goes, ow!
And that's what they call a burn on you.
Exactly. So the guys go to the bowling. Now, first of all, we also see that Penny is coming down the stairs. She's going to go and do because the boys are walking upstairs, and Howard is saying to Leonard, "Did you take a Benadryl before you tried to pleasure Penny? Because you could die before you
Because if you
die
fall
doing that."
asleep doing that, you could die.
Yeah. And he's like, no, not at all. And so Penny walks down the stairs, and this is where it's like, oh, hi. And you can see the uncomfortable
Yeah.
scenario between Leonard and Penny. And this is where Sheldon says, oh, remember we got bowling tonight. And she goes, oh, yeah, bowling. And Leonard goes, well, you don't have to come if you don't want to. And she goes, no, 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 no. In all honesty, if I don't come, you guys are going to get cream without me. And this is where Sheldon says, well, this is your lack of femininity really plays
Works
to
in
our
our
advantage.
favor.
Yeah. So she goes, always nice to talk to you, Sheldon, and starts to walk away. And he goes, was that sarcasm? She goes, yes, with a hint
With
of
thinly veiled hostility.
veiled contempt.
Yep.
And he goes, use that for your advantage on the lanes tonight. So the
And
next
then
thing,
he's like, remember 7 o'clock? And she's like, bite
bite
me.
me.
And that's when he says, use that tonight on the
Yeah,
lanes. Yeah.
exactly. So the next scene we see is the boys and Penny are arriving at the bowling alley.
Okay, I want to pause for a second here.
Yes, yes.
And as a good chunk of this episode does take place in a bowling alley, did you know
Probably not.
Jim Parsons' very first acting credit was a one-time appearance in the television series Ed, which was mainly set in a bowling alley.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I did not know that.
Yep.
So he might be an accomplished bowler.
He might be.
He might be a good
I
bowler.
actually got to bowl in the Bowling Hall of Fame place in Reno, Nevada.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun. Actually had one of my best games ever. I still suck, but it was a good game for me.
We haven't bowled together. We have to go out bowling and see.
I was actually thinking that we really should go bowling. It's fun.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
We
I
should
like bowling.
we
It
should
makes
book
my wrists hurt, but I love it.
make your wrists hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should definitely try it. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
we
see how
should.
we go.
I'll bring my wrist brace.
And I will be the ball. So we see that they arrive at the bowling alley, and this is
Oh,
Hmm?
sorry. One more piece of trivia.
yes.
If you're paying attention,
Mhm.
the spinning atoms are and the orbiting electrons transform into bowling balls between multiple transitions.
Yes, they
On
do.
multiple transitions. It's really kind of fun.
Yeah, that's a nice little touch they actually put in there.
Yeah, it is.
So this is where they're at the bowling alley, and Stuart comes over and says, listen, one of our players actually had to drop out, but I've got a substitute. I'm sure you guys all are familiar with Wil Wheaton.
And Sheldon's head just pops up with that look. Wheaton.
Well, 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 my old enemy. And because love it how Will comes up and goes, you're still not sore about me beating you in the card tournament, are you? And you can see that, yeah, he still is. I mean, remember, Sheldon's got a very,
You think Leonard doesn't let things go.
I know. And we all realize, if anyone has, I mean, obviously we've all watched it multiple times of this series, but we all know that,
I actually saw somebody post on Facebook the other day asking for new show recommendations because she's watched Big Bang so much it's not funny anymore. I know.
I would like to get her on this podcast and discuss with her the ins and outs of why this show is still funny after all these years.
No, you wouldn't.
Why not?
Can't tell you right now.
Did you post it?
No.
Did Barney get in and did Barney post it? Did Pikachu post it? Did Barney do it? Oh, Barney's here. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, then I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
Not at all.
Sorry, not trying to be vague to you guys, but
But we are. No, I'm not
it's
going
not something we need to get into here.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. So we see then that bowling starts and they're all enjoying, I mean, Wil Wheaton was ready to really hand
Well,
it to
Will was like, I love that I'm living
Oh, that's right, because
rent-free right
yeah,
there.
because he goes, well, I've got Wil Wheaton Wil Wheaton sucks .org and something else
.com,
and
.org.
and he goes, so what does that tell you? And that's when he says,
Oh, I love that I'm living rent-free right here.
Rent-
And he taps Sheldon's forehead. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Yes.
And I love it how, as we're going along, Howard being Howard, he goes over to Wil Wheaton. He goes, oh, I just want to say, I'm a big fan of your work. And he goes, oh, thanks very much. He goes, just question, Whoopi Goldberg.
He's like, I'm sure you're tired of Star Trek questions, but I just have one.
Whoopi Goldberg, do you ever hit that?
And Will just gives him this look like, seriously?
What? And this is where Howard goes, oh, I'll just go and bowl now. And gets out and walks away. And then this is where it starts. Now, we also find out before we get to this scene that Sheldon is a pretty good bowler because he has been the East Texas Christian Youth Group Holy Rollers bowling team.
Yeah.
Ages 7 to 11.
12.
7 to 12 or something like that. So, and he says that to Will to make sure that he's aware that he's a pretty good bowler. Yeah, he's up against. This is where we have a problem that comes up.
No.
We don't have a problem?
Before that, Sheldon takes his turn at bowling.
That's right.
And he holds the ball and he strokes the ball and he says, be the ball. And he does a Vulcan mind meld on the ball.
And everyone's like looking at him.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Its thoughts are my thoughts. Its holes are my holes. And then he puts his fingers in and he takes his turn and he gets a strike and jumps up and down with his arms in the air screaming, thank you, Jesus. And everybody just looks at him. He's like, as my mother would say.
And I like it how he looks over at Wil Wheaton and he goes, tweet that, Tweety Bird.
Yeah.
And because he was saying about, obviously that's a reference to Twitter. And obviously Will sort of like looks at him as if to say, what is your problem? And after that scenario, we see that Howard's going to bowl. And I look at how Howard Sheldon goes, remember, be the ball. And Howard just looks at him and goes, be quiet. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone, Sheldon. And does his own thing. Yeah. This is where we see that Leonard has gone and got some chili cheese fries. This is the beginning of it, everyone, as we all know. So this is where he says to Penny, would you like some chili cheese fries? And she goes, yes, I love chili cheese fries. And he goes, really? You love them? And she goes, do you really want to get into this right now, Leonard? And he says, no. The chili cheese fries have been in your life for such a long time. They need to know. And she goes, listen, you just caught me off guard, and he goes, and she said, I didn't know what to say. And he goes, well, no, what you should have said in that moment was, I love you too, not thank you.
Oh, I can't believe he said that to her.
And this is where she says,
because you don't want to force somebody to say it.
Yeah. And this is where she says, I just need time. And he goes, well, okay, you've had time now to think. What do you say? And she goes, you do not pressure me or tell me when it is time for me to say, I love you, and walks out. And this is where both Howard and Raj look at each other, and Howard goes, oh, Raj says, oh, the premature, I love you.
And Howard comes back, well, I guess premature, do I still get credit?
Does that count? Does that count? So, unfortunately, when she leaves, they have to forfeit the game, which, yeah. Now, the next scene we see is later on, Sheldon brings Penny some ice cream.
Because
because
he's been
apparently he's
reading the cartoon Kathy.
Kathy. And he says that basically when Kathy gets upset, she says ack and has ice cream. And
Which is
Penny,
true. I used to read that comic.
okay. And so Penny goes,
Act.
ack, and then welcomes him into the apartment. And he goes, well, if you were a cat, I would have bought you some lasagna, which is obviously a
Garfield
Garfield
reference.
reference. And this is where he says that last night, his sleep did not come easy to him. He went to sleep crying because they lost the game to Wil Wheaton, and he was very hard to also go to sleep because of Leonard listening to Alanis Morissette, obviously a woman that is so in need of some ice cream.
Yeah.
And so this is where he says to Penny, "Listen, we've teed up a rematch for tonight." And Penny says things are a little bit weird between myself and Leonard right now. So maybe it's not such a good idea. And I'm right there with Penny. If there's been a situation where you've been in where, you've had a very, very tense situation, being in the same room with that person, it's very uncomfortable.
Mm.
So now we know that Leonard is already verbally is pressuring her to say, I love you. Penny doesn't want to say it right now. Leonard is not that kind of person that will sit there and just say it once and let it go
No.
and
Well,
never
Leonard
worry
can't
about it
let
again.
things
He
go.
can't let it go. So she knows that at some stage tonight at the game, he's going to then pressure her or say something again that's going to start it all up again. So it would be better which I would be with Leonard, with Sheldon, is just to let Penny be at home by herself.
Yeah.
Go and find somebody else. Now, I'm sure there are people at the comic book store that you can
They're
go
all
down to.
on Stuart's team. Because if you look in the
All of them.
background, you see Lonely Larry and Captain Sweatpants.
Okay, but there's more than those two in there.
Yeah, but they're the main guys.
Okay, but you've got on their team they've got Leonard, Penny,
Stuart, no,
Raj.
they've
No,
got
I'm doing
oh, okay.
our team. So we're going Leonard, Penny, Raj, Howard, and
Yep.
Sheldon. That's five. On their
Yeah.
team, they've got Stuart, they've got Will, they've got Lonely Larry, Captain Sweatpants. Who's the fifth one? Who's the fifth one?
I don't know.
We didn't know. We didn't get to see the fifth one.
Hmm.
We got no idea who the fifth one is.
No.
But there must be somebody there that he could actually just go and employ or ask or beg to be on their team
Yeah.
without.
Yeah,
But I
but he
mean,
doesn't know that they're a good
but
bowler,
and
whereas
I
he
mean,
does know Penny.
yeah, and I do like it how in the scene we had seen just previously at the bowling alley when Sheldon says that I was the Christian Holy Rollers bowling team, and he goes, also Penny's pretty good, and Penny gives that little
Yeah.
to Will. So, she is a very good bowler, you know. But in this situation, I would probably let sleeping dogs lie and just say, listen,
Okay.
there's a lot of tension between Penny and Leonard. Let's not put them together today.
All right. That would imply the empathy on Sheldon's part as well as not thinking that it's all about what he wants.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen.
Because this is where he says, she says,
Because they've now made a wager on the night, and the loser will be humiliated at the winner's discretion.
yeah. So this is where Sheldon says, well, you know, and she goes, well, you need to go and talk to Leonard. Right now, he's down in the laundry. That would be a great time to go and do it. And she's like, you're not going to let this go, are
Well,
you?
okay. For first, so Sheldon makes his case, and she's like, "All right, I'll go talk to Leonard, see if we can create some peace." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Great.
When are you thinking of doing this?
When are you going to do it?" And she's like, "You're not going to let it go, are you?" And he's like, "I think we both know the answer to that."
He's down in the laundry right now. If you want to
Yeah.
now be a good time. So she goes down into the laundry to confront Leonard. Now, this is where I'm saying that even though Leonard is that kind of person that's not going to let it go,
Yep.
he's also a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Now, he's upset. I'm on Team Leonard for a moment, just for a moment on this scenario. He's upset because of the fact that he said quite genuinely, I love you, Penny.
I mean, I get why he's upset.
He's
I
upset.
totally do.
Yeah.
I've been there too. It's
Yeah.
not a fun place to be.
No.
But Penny comes down and she's like, "We need to talk." And he's like, "No, there's nothing to talk about. It's fine." She's like, "No, I really there is
She's like,
something
really?
there really is something to talk about here." And he's like,
Yeah.
"All right." And she explains to him that she has said, I love you before and it didn't end well, or she said it too soon and it didn't end well. And she just wants to make sure that when she says it to him, it really means something,
Yeah,
which is a fair point.
very much so.
And he should have taken that on board and said and he did say thank you for sharing that with me.
And being respectful with that.
And yeah, and then appreciated where she was coming from and knowing that she does care for him because she does say that and she
Mm.
does show that, and just allowing her to come to that moment in her own time.
However,
That's what a mature person would do.
yeah. However, Leonard doesn't do that because
He
when
does
she
not do
says
that.
about the fact that, she said, she's said it too soon, he goes, don't know what that feels like. It's like,
It's like,
oh,
really?
Leonard, come on, man.
Don't be a dick.
But he does say, listen, he said, we're good, we're fine. He
Well,
says,
and he's absolutely right that they're in different emotional places, and
yeah,
but and I do, okay, it's passive aggressive, but I love the line. I
I
mean,
love
let's
this one
face it,
too.
I've been in this relationship 2 years longer than you have.
Because the first day they met each other, he did say, our children are going to be both beautiful and handsome, or beautiful and something.
Smart
Smart
and
and
beautiful.
beautiful. That's right. So he says, "Oh, it's all fine. It's all good." She's like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yep." And of course, this is where Sheldon comes in and goes, "Okay, everyone's okay. Fence is mended. Let's go bowling." And you just
Yes,
see
I was eavesdropping. There was too much writing on this.
there's a lot at stake. Let's go. So you see Penny's like look at Leonard and say, "Really? Okay." So now we are at the bowling alley, and Sheldon has gone and bought or made brand new T-shirts for them.
They're
And I'm
bowling
gonna
shirts.
They're
They're
bowling
bowling
shirts. I'm
shirts.
going to let you tell the listeners about this
I
one.
want one of these so bad.
I know you do.
I
I
don't
know
know
you
where
do.
I'd wear it, but man, I want one.
I know you do.
Actually, I'd put it in my collection and never wear it.
No, you need to wear it if
I
you
got
got
the
one.
rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock t-shirt for Christmas and it's sitting in my collection.
She's never worn it.
Uh-uh. He wants me to wear it, but I'm
I
like,
do.
but he turned me into a collector.
Well, it's not my fault.
Anyway, so it's these bright yellow bowling shirts with black trim, and on the back it has pins and a ball coming in for a strike, and it says the Wesley Crushers. And
Yes.
Penny's like, "Oh, the Wesley Crushers." He's like, "No, the Wesley Crushers, meaning that we are crushing Wesley." And she's like, "I don't get it." Leonard's like, "It was Wil Wheaton's character on Star Trek." And she's like, "I still
I
don't
still
get
don't
it."
get it.
And then Wil Wheaton comes in.
No. Before that, Howard says, well, then it should be the Wesley Crushers. And Sheldon goes, no. It's not the Wesley Crushers. It's not the Wesley Crushers. It's the Wesley Crushers.
Crushers. And then Wil
Then
Wheaton
Will
comes
Wheaton
in
comes in,
and
says,
what
oh, look, they've named their team after me.
as Sheldon goes to start to explain it and then realizes that it's a
It's just,
futile thing and that Wil Wheaton's just going to mess with them. And he's like, folds it up and is like, never mind,
doesn't
puts it
matter.
back in the bag.
It's like, I feel so sorry for Sheldon because those would have been not cheap to do.
Yeah, exactly.
With all that embroidery and the way that
Hmm.
it looks, that would have been I mean, yeah, I would love that t-shirt or that bowling shirt.
Hmm.
But I just think, yeah, that would have been a waste of money. But yep, no, they couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So
Nope.
this is where we also see that Stuart comes over and says, "Okay, so you know the rules about tonight. The loser is going to be doing something at the winner's discretion."
Humiliated at the
Yeah,
discretion of the winner.
and this
And
is where Sheldon comes up with an idea, and he says that I'm going to make you
publish a
publish a
paper
paper that's actually
supporting
disprove.
this disproven theory.
Yeah, and I like how Stuart goes, "Oh, again,
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know what Stuart's got in mind.
No, we
We
don't.
will at the end."
But I have to say, I love Stewart's deadpan deliveries. He is just
He is
masterful.
very good at that.
He was originally considered for the Kevin Sussman was originally considered for the role of Howard Wolowitz, and
Wow, that would
they
have been
almost had him online for
as
that.
Howard.
And I just don't think it would have, and obviously the producers agreed that he just didn't quite work as Howard.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that they kept him on as a recurring character and actually expanded his role within the universe as
I like
Stuart.
Stuart, I
Yeah.
really do. But the one thing that I find really quite, not needed is that he goes from being the way he is now to pathetic.
Yeah, right now he's a really decent guy.
Yeah.
There was no need to turn him into, I mean,
He seems
I
confident.
and I'm okay with him not having the confidence with women, so he and Raj team up when they're trying to
Yeah.
do online dating together and stuff like
Yeah.
that in a later episode. But when he starts being like, I'm a man, like a man with 80-year-old bones
Yeah.
and living out of my car, and I'm like,
That's where it becomes pathetic. But then again,
yeah,
we
and it's
also,
just annoying. It's just exhausting.
yeah, and look, those of us, as we all know, that you've got, Howard going from creepy to being okay, and then
Yeah.
we've got Bernadette from going okay to being a bitch.
Yep.
So there's a definitely a switch in every
Yeah.
character in the universe.
Even
So
Sheldon grows up and becomes able to have an intimate relationship,
exactly.
as we know, he eventually becomes a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. Right now I really like Stuart the way he
Yeah,
is.
me too.
He doesn't need to go to be pathetic.
Although there are hints of him trending that way already.
Yeah.
Certain things that he
Yeah,
says and
little bit,
whatnot.
but not. But maybe the last bit when he's on the phone to this person in the comic book store. Yeah, we'll
Yeah, we'll
get to
get
that.
to that.
So,
Continue.
so this is where we start to see the bowling match going on, and Will throws Sheldon off to make him have a gutter ball, and tells
Well,
him basically
okay,
to him,
so they both get up to bowl. Sheldon offers for Will to go first, and Will says no, it's custom for the bowler on the right to go
to go
first.
first.
So as Sheldon starts to throw his ball, Will does his at the same time, and of course it throws Sheldon off.
Yeah,
He gets a gutter ball, Will gets a strike, and he looks at Will like, seriously? And Will's like, well, it's a custom, not a
it's not a rule.
rule.
And he goes, and he says something. He goes, "That's okay, Sheldon. Embrace the dark side." And look at Sheldon goes, That's not even from your
Yeah.
franchise." So this is where we're going back, and once again, this whole thing's going on, and Wil Wheaton starts to see what's going on between Leonard and Penny because there is still a bit of tension because Penny again. This is where Leonard even at one stage Penny is sitting there, and Leonard is having something to drink, and he goes, "We're just two people enjoying the night, just playing, just bowling and not letting ourselves get into our head. And, maybe one day, you might be able to say that you love me." And then she's like, and you can just see her go, "Really again?" And he
You
goes,
want to
"Oh,
get into this now?
no, no, no." She doesn't say that because he goes, "Oh, it's my turn to bowl." And he gets up to go bowling, and you can just see her starting to seethe in her mind. This is where Will comes and sits on the opposite side of her
Yeah. And
and says,
he
"Oh,
acts like he's being so nice.
yeah, he is." And he says, I'm really glad that, you two patch things up." And she goes, "Yeah, me too." Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah." He said,
So I had this girl that I said
yeah,
I love you too early.
yeah,
And she ended up stringing me along for
for
another two
two
years before,
years."
and I wish she had just broken up with me then and there. She's like, "Really?" And he's
And he
like,
goes,
"Yeah, it
"Yeah,
just
it's
would have been
brutal."
kinder."
Yeah, he said, "No, it's brutal." And so this is where it's all coming down to Penny again. And so the boys sit down near her, and Leonard goes, "Okay, so we really need a strike." And she goes, "Yep, got it." And he goes, "Oh, that's right." First of all, Sheldon sits down next to her and goes, "Did Wil Wheaton get in your head?" And she goes, "What? No." And he goes, "Did he tell you that his Mima is dead?" And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Because his Mima is not dead." And so this is where it's all coming down to Penny. So Leonard sits down, and she's like, and Sheldon's like, "Okay, remember, be the bull, and his Mima is not dead." And she goes, "Got it." And Leonard's like, "Now we really need a strike on this." And she goes, "Yep,
I
I
know.
understand." And he goes, "So we could really
Nope,
do with a strike."
but
And she
no
goes,
pressure.
"No pressure." And she goes, "Look, back off, Leonard."
And he's like stroking her
Yeah.
back,
And she's
and
like, "Back off, Leonard, stop pressuring me."
he's like,
And
"I'm
he
not pressuring
he's like,
you."
"I'm not pressuring you." And she says, she says something, and he gets something. He goes, no, well, tell me what I can do. You
And
know,
oh no, he's like, okay, I'll be quiet. And she's like,
that's
I
right.
didn't mean be
Oh, that she says,
quiet.
shut up. She says, shut up, Leonard. And he goes, well, tell me what. And she goes, I didn't mean shut up or be quiet. He says, well, okay, well, then you tell me
Tell
what
me
to
what you
do.
want and I'll do it.
And she says, no, it's not fair on you. I can't do this. I'm sorry. Breaks down in tears and runs out. And this is where Sheldon's like, come back, I'll give you ice cream. And she's like, and of course Leonard says, no, let her go. And he goes, well, if I let her go, it's over.
Yep.
And Leonard comes back with, I'm thinking it's pretty much
I
over
think it's pretty
now.
much over. And that's when Wil Wheaton comes over to Sheldon. And he and Sheldon
Tough luck, Sheldon.
it was
You
beautiful
did
because
this.
Sheldon looks at him, he's like, you did this. I don't know what you did, but I
But
know
you
you
did
did
this.
this. And Wil Wheaton looks at him, genuinely being the nice guy, saying,
Hmm.
do you really think I would break up a couple just to win a bowling match?
And he goes,
And
no,
Sheldon's
I
like,
don't think it would.
and Wil Wheaton's like, yeah, you just keep thinking that.
This is where he comes with the Wrath of Khan fashion, and he says, Wheaton!
Yeah.
The next scene we see at the end of the podcast or the end of the episode is that
The best scene of the episode.
Stuart is on the phone to a person. We don't know who it is,
No.
and he says, no, no, no. He says, no, the girls on
The chicks on
on Match.com,
Match.com are a lot looser than the ones on
the
eHarmony.
eHarmony. And he goes, "Oh, I gotta go.
I
There's
won a bet and it's
and
time
I've
to
time to pay.
collect.
Yeah, time to collect." As we see, because of their loss, the guys come in the comic book store. Howard is dressed as Batgirl. Supergirl is Leonard. Wonder Woman is Sheldon, and a very liberated Catwoman is Raj.
He's in the Halle Berry cat suit
Yeah,
and
not the
he
Michelle
is
Pfeiffer.
owning it. He is strutting it.
Uh-huh.
And the other three are looking very
They're
upset.
humiliated.
They're humiliated and Raj leans over to Howard and he says, I don't know about you, but I feel liberated.
The scene goes black, and that is the end of the episode.
Yep. I love
It
that
is a
ending.
great part of the episode just to finish off with. It
Yep.
really is.
Yep.
But I will say that unfortunately, in this scenario, Leonard should have just let it go.
Yeah, if he had been able to actually hear Penny
Yeah,
and just let it go, everything would be fine. They'd still
yeah,
be together, and yeah, but it's
yeah.
his
But
inability to let it go.
and unfortunately, this is where we're going to have a time period where they just become friends because
Yeah,
this is just not going to work out for them.
but
And
I
I
think eventually they do come back stronger for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do understand. I do appreciate the fact that he did say in that moment, and it wasn't in the throes of sexual passion. It was after the fact. He was genuinely so excited about a woman quoting Yoda,
Yeah,
and he was at that moment, he
I'm
was,
with a beautiful woman who can quote Yoda.
yeah, every nerd's dream. But the fact is that he just wanted at that moment to express that this is not just, I don't see you as just a bed friend or a
Yeah,
one night stand. I see you as someone that I genuinely love, and
yeah,
I
and
need
want
to
to be in a
express,
relationship with.
yeah, and I need to express myself in that way. Now he should have actually heard Penny, as you said, with Penny saying, I have said it too many times, before, and it's never turned out
Yeah.
well. So at least take that, as you said, and take that and run with it and go, okay,
Yep.
it's not that she doesn't love me. She just wants to find the time when she will say it.
When it
So
feels
when it
right
feels right,
because the relationship is going somewhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not just at that moment, oh, I love you, that Penny would just
Because think
sporadically
about it,
say.
she said it to Kurt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And look where that got her.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Leonard is a different guy. He's a decent guy. So just let her say it when it's appropriate for her.
Yep,
But
exactly.
Leonard unfortunately has messed this up right now, and for a while we're going to be in the friend zone, unfortunately. But
Yep.
it's a part of growing. So, but yes, what was our food count this week?
2 times snacks at the
That's
bowling
it.
alley. Yeah,
Wow.
that's it.
Okay. And do we have any crazy credits? Or do we have a question first? Sorry.
Who do you think you're dealing with?
I know. Well, before I give you that scenario, I just want Texas in part. I want Dallas to know that you guys are number one
Are
listeners.
back in first place.
Because we actually had a competition going on between New York and New Jersey, and then Dallas went no, oh sorry, then Texas went no, we're stepping in on and taking over this situation, and in Texas, Plano was the highest area listening
Number
to
of
us,
listeners, yeah.
right? Dallas has come through and gone, no, 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 Plano, you go number 2, we are number 1. So
I've been
Dallas.
to Dallas, nice town.
I'd love to go to Dallas. I'd love to go to Dallas to see a game and see the Dallas cheerleaders because I've watched it too many times on TV, and I'd like to see the actual thunderstruck dance moves.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
Okay. My ex-husband was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
And I promise I will support Dallas when I'm there.
And he used to make me cheer for whoever they were playing against because he felt like that I made everybody lose.
Right.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. We're going to go to
But I have to admit, I have fallen in love with the Netflix show America's Sweethearts.
Yeah,
which
me
is
too.
all about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that show. So I would love to see them live.
Yeah, I'd love to go and see that and actually see the actual thunderstruck thing. So if there are any Dallas cheerleaders listening to us, just reach out and say hi. That's all. And we won't put your name out there. We'll say that there was a cheerleader that said hi. But but make sure you just can't be a regular girl that sits there and goes, "Oh, I'm a cheerleader." You have to give us, some sort of validation that you are one of the cheerleaders. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, I'm definitely a cheerleader." It's like, no, we need some proof, but we won't put your name out there. So, but yeah, so it's good to see that Dallas, you push Plano aside and go, nope, we're number 1. Thank you very much.
Yep. And while we're paused before we get into the last of the wrap up, we are recording this on Saturday, the 4th of July.
We are.
So happy 250th birthday, America.
Happy American Independence Day.
Yep.
And I'm sorry also, last weekend was Canada Day. So
yeah, we missed celebrating
Canada
that.
Day, so
sorry, our Canuck friends. We do honor and love you and celebrate Canadian Day.
Yes, happy Canada Day as well. So
yes. Yep.
So what is our question of the week?
Have you ever been so bad at something that your team seriously considered benching you?
I'm sorry to say I can't relate to that.
Neither can I really. I'm the one everybody always wants on their Trivial Pursuit team because I am a font of random knowledge.
Yeah, when I was playing 8-ball, I was on the winning team of playing 8-ball, and I was the last player to go in the competition, so I actually won it for the team. And then I played 9-ball and won through and got the championship trophy of that. And then I was actually asked to go into Super League, which would have meant that I could have traveled the world playing 9-ball.
I wish you had done that.
There was a certain person that got all snooty about that, so
because she didn't get to go with.
Yeah, so I decided not to take them up on the offer. And
you should have done it anyway,
as they
honey.
say, you miss your window of opportunity.
But I would have supported you to go do that.
But I would have been able to travel the world playing 9-ball.
Yep.
So yeah, the most of the games that I've ever played, most of the sports I've ever played, I've always been the captain of the team as well. So,
well, that being said, if I was ever with a group of friends that wanted to play basketball, they probably would get rid of me.
Okay.
Volleyball, maybe too.
Okay.
I'm good at mini golf.
Oh, there we go.
We haven't done that. We keep saying we're going to do that, but we never.
No, we say a lot of things.
Yeah, we do.
We say a lot of things. We just don't
out.
Exactly. We just don't go out of the house.
Ooh, people.
Ooh, people.
Except for the PMS family.
Except for the PMS family. We don't say ooh about you guys. You guys are
but
cool.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is our question of the week.
But anyway, we just wanted to wish Canada Happy Canada Day and America
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
So, yeah, that question you can answer on Spotify in the comment section. You can answer it on the page. You can also answer that in the YouTube channel as well. So I'll put so anywhere you'd like to, or you can email us perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com like Elias did and answer the question there.
And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe because that helps boost our visibility and more
Very
people to
much so.
find us.
Yeah,
And make sure you follow the Facebook page and join the group because we post all kinds of random nerdverse stuff in the
we
group.
do. A
And
lot of
because
stuff.
I've actually been posting a lot of Star Wars stuff lately because we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of Star Wars next year.
Yep, we
So
are.
I've been seeing a lot of really cool behind the scenes Star Wars
Yeah.
stuff and yeah, so I've been posting a lot of fun stuff.
Yep. So you always be very active in those pages or groups or wherever
Yep.
you've got plenty of opportunity to converse with us. So
Yeah, come hang out with us, really,
yeah, have
guys.
fun.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
actually
Chuck.
did actually have another subscriber on the YouTube channel, by the way. We
Yay.
were we were at 22, now we're at 23 officially. So yep.
Awesome. Okay. So Chuck Lorre Productions number 284, the 2010 census. Part 1. How many people were living or staying in this, or question 1, sorry. How many people were living or staying in this house, apartment, or mobile home on April 1st, 2010? Well, after a difficult divorce and several failed attempts at a meaningful relationship, I guess the answer is one. One lonely middle aged guy. But I shouldn't get too down on myself. I mean, at least I'm trying. At least my intentions are good. Well, mostly good. I am guilty of what I call self righteous self centeredness. You know, that workaholic syndrome, which requires everyone to adapt to my very pressing needs rather than being available to theirs. In fact, that actually might be the core of my problem. That or my compulsive desire to make women happy, which, no surprise, stems from a deep fear that unless I'm perfect, they'll leave me. Oh, and they sure let you know when you're not perfect. They don't mince words when you fail to live up to their expectations. You hear about it. Or worse, you don't hear about it and then have to deal with their subliminal rage that you're not healing their deep seated daddy wound. But that's beside the point. Bottom line, one person lives here. There. Are you happy, U.S. Department of Commerce, Economics and Statistics Administration, U.S. Census Bureau? Anything else you want to know? Question 2. Were there any additional people staying here that you did not include in question 1? I already told you. I'm alone. What is it with you people? Why do you keep taunting me? Haven't I suffered enough?
I must admit I hate Census Night. I really do.
Yeah.
That is just the biggest pile of horse shit I've ever seen in my life. It is just another way of Big Brother to make sure that they know where the hell you are at all times. As if it's not bad enough with mobile phones and stuff like that. I was actually hearing that there is a situation going on now with that car company, BYD.
Oh, uh-huh.
It's a Chinese company, and there
Yeah.
was a woman that was driving along singing. She said she was singing a song about something, and the car turned the radio off and started to ask her direct questions.
Like what?
I don't know. They cut it out, but they
Oh
said that
my.
he said that it just because they've got cameras in the car, so when you're driving, like if you start to fall asleep or whatever, the car will alert you. But she said she was just driving along, having a great time, singing a song, and then the radio turns off, and then the car asked her direct questions, and she said that is just way too.
That's invasive.
Yeah. So apparently this
Skynet.
company is being looked at because it's a Chinese car company and they're thinking to themselves that maybe this is not such a good idea to actually have this car company in Australia.
I mean, I like the name of the company, the BYD Build Your
Build your
Dreams.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
consider looking at them just for that because I
Yeah.
like that, but now maybe not.
But not with the car asking you questions.
Not
I
with
mean, but
Skynet involved.
no, no. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just too creepy.
See, this is why the Terminator movies terrify me.
They're too close now.
Is the it's too feasible.
Yeah.
Even though that technology is not there yet, it's too feasible. But then again, technology, I mean, my Oops app is a perfect example of that.
Hmm.
I had the idea for something like that 20 odd years ago,
Mm.
around 1995.
Yeah.
So 30 years ago.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I actually talked to people about, like a friend of mine who's a developer, to just do something like this. And he thought it was a great idea, but not enough to actually do it with me.
Mm.
Um, and then in May of 2026, I got the idea to talk to my AI partner, thinking partner, and Claude was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And the next thing I knew, 2 weeks later, I was launching an app.
Yep.
And okay, that sounds very simple, but I will tell you, it's a lot more involved than people think.
Yeah, it's not
It
as
was like
easy.
2 weeks of full-time work to pull
Yeah,
that together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's very scary how close the Terminator scenario is
Yeah.
with
But
AI and
that's
stuff
why
like
those,
that.
I mean, I like those movies, but I don't sleep well for a couple of nights after watching one.
No, we can't watch it around here. It's scary. Or if we
That's
watch it,
mean.
or if we watch it, we got to watch Some Thousand Unicorns afterwards.
Don't be mean.
No, it's usually we got to watch like cartoons or something
Don't be
to
mean.
get your mind off of it.
Uh-uh. Don't be mean.
Okay. All right.
It was that 10 top serial killers thing I
Oh,
needed to
that one.
watch
Yeah.
Rainbows and Unicorns after.
Yeah. That was actually fun.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was not surprising. Some of it was, some of it wasn't. Because it basically listed the top 10 most violent serial killers of all time,
Mm.
and going from number 10 to number one. And there were a couple that I was surprised didn't make the list.
Yeah.
And there were a couple that we thought would have been higher on the list.
Some that we weren't surprised that actually did make the list.
But number one was pretty much what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So it's on Prime if you want to watch it. It's quite interesting, but I do recommend watching something fun and funny afterward because it's
Unless you're
intense.
like me, who's been so desensitized that could watch that and then go to bed and have a very decent sleep.
All right. So that being said, just a reminder that if you want to send us a coffee, we
Mhm.
would be most grateful. My
Kat's birthday is next Sunday.
Really? Yeah, I'm not telling you how old I am, though.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
getting
she's
there.
a ripe
I'm
age. She's
old.
a good age.
I'm old.
So, if you want to celebrate Kat with her birthday, you could just always send her a coffee so I could take her out for a coffee on her
I'd be
birthday.
very grateful.
Mm.
And just a reminder that we don't advertise here and we never will advertise here. So if you're loving the work that we do
Yep.
and appreciating the fact that we don't make you suffer through ads
Yep.
and want to show a little appreciation,
Little love.
the PayPal me link to shout us a coffee is in everything. It's in the pin posts and about on the Facebook page and group.
Mhm.
The link is in every show note and YouTube show
Link.
notes.
Yep.
Or you can email us at
Perpetual Motion Squad 00@gmail.com.
Yep. So thank you, gang, and every and all donations are gratefully accepted and appreciated.
And thank you, Elias, for giving us a great idea of our new thumbnail and little bits and pieces that we're doing on our YouTube channel. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you for
much.
doing that. That was kind of amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really
Yep.
appreciate that. And we got to run with that. So we wanted to publicly thank and acknowledge Elias for that. That's
Yep,
brilliant.
absolutely. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time for season 3, episode 20, The Spaghetti Catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, we will catch up with you at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye, everyone.